Hello everyone. Today we are going to learn about how to unpivot the columns of a table using M code. So the data which I am presenting in the screen, if you have to read the values of this particular table, you have to look at the headers of the table, and also you have to look at the left hand side of the products and the categories. This is something a cross tabulated data. So if you have to understand the value 95, so this 95, if you have to understand the meaning, you have to see the product A and the category is mid and it is for the January 2020. Similarly, if I will have to understand what this value 81 represents, this 81 value is for the product C, the category is mid and it is for the month February 2020. So this is something cross tabulated data. So what we are trying to achieve that we want this data to be unpivoted in this fashion, like product category and then month will come and then the units. So say product is A, category is mid and month is say January 2020 and the value is 95. So we are trying to create a data structure in this particular fashion so that we can create any report, meaningful report out of this data. So how to achieve this? Let's get started. So I'm closing this Excel file and I already have opened a blank Excel workbook and I will connect that particular file in this Excel workbook using data, get data from file from Excel workbook. And my Excel workbook is mcode dynamically unpivot columns. So I'm importing that particular table into this Excel file. So F cells is the table. I will click on the transform data and it will launch the Power Query user interface. So it has done couple of these steps. I don't want the change data type. Remaining two steps are fine. So in this table, I want to remove the totals. So I will filter it out. And then if I will have to unpivot the table, I will select the product, then category by clicking the control button, and I will right click and say unpivot other columns. And the Power Query is giving me the function as table.unpivot other columns, and it is asking the table name, which is filtered rows, and it is keeping the columns to be pivoted is product and category, and attribute will become month and value will become units. But the problem with this Power Query written formula is that it has hard coded our column names, and tomorrow if a new column is coming which I don't want to unpivot, then in that case this query is going to break. Let me show you what I meant here. So let me load this particular query into one of the Excel sheet. And now let me go to the data back. I am opening the source data, and in that source data I am adding another column which is city. Say the city is NYC, it is a Delhi, and the remaining is a Bangalore. Save the data and refresh the Power Query pivot table. Now you can see the month and the units are having incorrect data. So let's go and see where the problem has happened. Since our Power Query written formula, the columns were hard coded, so I will have to manually come here and add the city which I don't want to unpivot, and then the query will get fixed. So in case in future, if new columns are coming or getting deleted, this query is not going to work. So how to fix that using M code? So if you observe, your column names which you don't want to unpivot are coming in a list structure. So here also you have to apply a list learnings. So let's get started. So I'm creating a new query. Okay, I can duplicate this particular query, and the first query was written using user interface, and the second query we are writing using M code. So I will delete the last step. Till this part it is fine, filtered rows. Now, as you have observed in the user interface formula, the function which Power Query has written is table.unpivot other columns, and then it is uh, asking for the column names which you don't want to unpivot in the list structure. So I want to create a list structure where product, category, and city should be there, and remaining months should be unpivoted. So for that purpose, I will create a step and I will extract all the column names. The function is table.column names, and the table name is filtered rows. Now from this list, uh, let it rename it as column name all list. Now from this list, I just want to keep product, category, and city and remove all the column names. Tomorrow, if any new columns are coming, I want to keep that also and remove all the months name. And in future, if more months names are getting added in the source file, that also should get removed dynamically. So for that purpose, what we can do, we can try to convert all the months into a date format and then remove all those dates. So for that, we have to transform this list, and the function to transform the list is list.transform. Now this function is asking, give me a list. Yeah, we have a list which is column name all list. And it is asking what transformation you want to perform on this particular list. At present, I don't want to perform any transformations. I just want this list as it is. For that, I am writing each underscore, where underscore is the items of the list. Like underscore represents product category and each represents the each item. So if I click outside, I am getting my list back. Now what I can do, I can try to convert, this particular month into a date by writing a function date.from. So if you see, the system was able to convert all the months into a date format using the date.from function. However, the three headers, the product category and the city, was not able to convert because obviously those are not any month's value. But the problem with the list is that I cannot apply a filter and keep errors only and remove all the dates. So for that purpose, what I can tell to the Power Query that why don't you try to convert the each item into a data structure? So what it gives me a record. And in the record, the benefit is that I am getting two columns. The first column is telling me whether this particular record is having any error or not. Obviously, the product was not able to be converted into a date and hence it has a error. And what error it is having, if I again go inside and click on this record, I will get the detailed error message. But if I go to the sixth item, which was a month value, the system was able to convert it into a date format. So the error is not there, so it is false. And it is showing me what value it has faced using this transformation. So if you see, after adding this try, up till this is giving me a record. So I can surround this complete sentence under the parentheses, and what I can do, I can just write the column name has error in the same structure what it is written here, and what I will get is the true and false. Now what I can do, I can use list.select, which is the similar function which needs which list you want to transform, which list you want to select the items from, and what is your condition. So if I click outside, what I will get, all my true values wherever the errors were there, the product category and the city. The benefit is that tomorrow, if any new months are coming, that will auto get excluded. And if any new columns are getting added, which are not months value, will get included in this list. So I can rename this particular list as pivot column name. Now I can easily use my table dot unpivot other columns, which is asking me, give me a table which you want to unpivot, and my column name is filtered rows. It is asking, give me the pivot column names, but as a list. Obviously, we have already created pivot column name list. And it is asking me, what are the other two columns for us? To the other two columns are, one is month and another is your units. And if I click outside, my M code is working perfectly fine and it is giving me the data. Now let's download this also into another Excel sheet. And now go and let's test whether it is working perfectly fine or not. So I'm opening my source data and I'm adding a new column here, say color. These three are red, these three are blue. Save the file, close it, and just refresh it out. So the M code is working perfectly fine, but if you go to the Power Query and if you refresh this one, it will break. So that's the benefit of working with the M code. So here we have learned how to dynamically unpivot your columns using the list. Thanks for watching.